name is Jo Ator. We're standing here at the American Kinderfeld, or the American Children's Grave site of the Frankfurt main cemetery. The site was begun back in basically 1947. The Americans were here in Frankfurt. This was their headquarters, and they utilized the 97th General Hospital, which is today the American Consulate. And babies began being born here as families came over to be with the thousands of soldiers that were stationed here in Frankfurt. Unfortunately, not all of these babies survived. The military decided that they needed a special spot here in the cemetery for these babies to be buried because the American Army did not pay for the transfer of remains to America unless a child was over 2 years old. We have records of these babies that were buried here, not necessarily here in this section because they don't know where these babies were buried, but approximately 72 babies were born between 1947 and 1951. Later on, the Army did pay to have a special site built. It was about twice as large as this is now, and they paid for this in 1952 and went up to 1982. How many children are buried here? It's in the hundreds. But because this grave site has been made smaller twice, we now only have the gravestones of about 177 babies. Looking at the gravestones of these small children, the 177 stones that we have. Many of these stones were moved forward as they made this grave site smaller. You'll see that many of these children did die the day they were born, or maybe just a few days or a couple of weeks later. Very few lived long. Sometimes they just say infant boy or just the last name. We don't even know if it was a boy or a girl. Until just a few days ago, these stones were almost completely covered with moss. They are very hard to read. And the gardeners that are doing the new planting here came in and steam cleaned these, power washed them, and now we can again read them. These are sandstone gravestones that were purchased by the American Women's Club, 1984. They paid 35 Deutschmarks per stone. 1984, this is pretty good. They paid 300 Deutschmarks for the big memorial there in the middle, the big white stone. Just this past week, they pulled up all of the old bushes that had once sat here. They did not ever look very good. Numerous times we've come over here and we've planted, come back a month later, everything dead. This is quite sad because the Girl Scouts, the Boy Scouts, they've invested money, they've invested time, and then things die. So my idea was to have plants planted here that were a little bit not care intensive, that always looked nice, and to make this area look like a children's grave. So we have carefree green plants. This will be a ground cover. The gardeners have put an area here. They're going to make a rainbow out of crushed glass chunks. And then they're going to have a shooting star, again with trails, I believe in red, white, and blue. If we can find the blue glass, this seems to be a problem. But it's going to look very nice. I think for a children's grave, it's more representative than what was here before. These paving stones have been installed, so people could come up and come over here and just get a little bit closer to the grave, the memorial. There's going to be a planter put on top of the memorial so that as the seasons change, we can put things like tulips in the springtime, summer flowers, fall flowers, perhaps a Christmas tree at Christmas time. And that will add a little bit of color here. The bushes that are in front, we've moved one of them. We're going to move another one. We're going to put a butterfly bush in. These bushes have purple flowers. They're related to lilacs, and butterflies really like them. I think for a children's grave site, they would like this. The squirrels are here all the time, the woodpeckers. I've even seen a red fox run through here before. It's very quiet here, but I want it to look nice, and this is my goal, and we're partway there. And I'm hoping to get some people together who would like to make donations, because this hasn't been free. The gardeners that are doing this work are giving me a very good price on it, quite a bit less than if I was just a private customer. They're very touched that these children are here without parents to take care of their graves, and I think it's very important that we remember them and do something nice for them. As you can see, they have come and put our crushed glass. They've made our rainbow and our shooting star. We've also had a big rainstorm and a big windstorm, and lots of leaves have come onto this, so we might have to rethink this in the springtime, but I think it came out very nicely, especially the rainbow. When I was here last month when they had just finished this, it was lovely. When springtime comes around, we'd also like to have some birdhouses, perhaps some solar lights, something that's representative of a children's grave site. The city has promised us that we are going to get a little historic marker because this is a historic place. We do not have to pay rent for this anymore. Kaiserslautern also has a children's field, a Kinderfeld. They still have to pay rent. They have about 450 graves, and they have to come every week and cut the grass. We don't have to do that here. Our bill so far for all of this is about 1,100 euros. At some point, I'd like to set up a foundation, a bank account, and set up a perpetual care for this spot, and to help pay for all of this, to make an information plaque, and just other things that need to be done here. I hope you get in touch with me if you'd like to help contribute to this, and thank you.